All right, guys, we're back. Big news with the Jets firing him out with Saleh. Was it Tuesday? Today's Wednesday. Yesterday was yesterday. It was yesterday.
They did
It was
it on Tuesday
yesterday.
because that's their off day.
Yeah. I got a text message, and I confirmed the text message with a couple of apps to make sure it wasn't just a goof,
Yeah.
and it was legit. But first of all, I have to say, I want to give a shout out to the Mets
Yeah.
for winning
Let's
their
go
game
Mets.
tonight, and they're going to, what do they call it? The National League what do they-
Championship series.
I'm not that up with the baseball lingo, but
Nah,
congratulations,
it's a big
Mets.
thing, baby.
Congrats to the Mets. Well done.
Yep. All right. So anyway, let's get right into it. Obviously, something had to happen. Something had to change. There's so much to discuss, and we try to keep it, cut it down to the chase, basically. But I guess the first question is, what do we expect to change firing the head coach who really wasn't in charge of the offense? I mean,
Right.
what do we expect to change? I guess we'll start with EF over here.
The team's a little, the team's sloppy. I mean, there's a number of penalties, whether it was, pass interference, defensive holding, lining up in the neutral zone the last few weeks, two times in one game. I mean, maybe they're just slow starts, sloppy, not getting in the game. I don't know. Is that the reason he was fired? I was the last time a coach was fired in season. It was, I think, in 1975 and 76. I think Lou Holtz and Charlie Winter were the last two. So it was something else going on here.
I don't disagree with Saleh being fired. I mean, I can see why they kept him this year because they wanted to see how we would do with Aaron Rodgers. But I think the main thing is my whole thing throughout the years is just the whole passiveness of the coach. And, that was a good defense. And I don't believe in yelling at my players because they already knew they did something wrong, Like my theory is if you go out to a strip club and you come home and tell your wife or she finds out and she says to you, "That's okay, honey, you're a grown man. I understand you made a mistake." Is that going to discourage you from doing it again? Or if she hits you on the head with a frying pan, would that discourage you from doing it again? So I just think that the players were taking advantage. I think Rodgers is taking full advantage too. I mean,
Yeah.
let me just say this real quick. What could be a situation in the real world where your boss goes to give you a hug and you push him away? Think about it that way. You know what I mean?
Did you hear his explanation of that?
It's so disrespectful.
Yeah, that was
Did you hear his explanation of that?
Yeah, with the two scores or whatever.
No. He said everybody celebrates different, and he said, I thought Rob was a push your chest kind of guy, but he's a hugger. So now I know he's a hugger. He's a legit hugger. So he wants to give you a hug. He doesn't want to do a chest bump, and that was the excuse he gave.
Saleh went to hug him and he pushed him away. So I think that's just disrespectful. I think that's disrespectful. I think it's disrespectful that he missed training camp and went to Egypt. The OTAs. OTAs. So I mean, a lot of things going on there.
But all that's showing up now, like the timing's off with him and the receivers and the communication.
Right, that's what they're saying. It's
with
because of
him
him
and the
missing the
receivers.
OTAs.
And he also hasn't been extremely accurate.
no, great. That interception was horrible. The pick six was horrible.
But even at the end, he had Garrett Wilson for a touchdown.
They
And
missed
he
it.
overthrew him like horribly. I mean, I'm sure, I think it was an off-script play. I don't think that was the play that Garrett Wilson.
No, I agree, but it still was a bit that's wrong.
You just lay it out there and let him get it, I mean, he's been under a little pressure, and I'm a little surprised. I thought the line was going to be a little bit better.
I thought so too. They had, the injuries. Moses right was out, but it's weird though. Like, they could still, the weird position. And I thought was maybe scratch my head though. Is that if they won Monday night, they're tied for first place. So it was kind of early. So it was kind of the bizarre.
Our offensive scheme still sucks.
You know what? Listen.
They didn't fire Hackett, so how's that going to change?
Exactly. I think that's a bigger problem.
And
they won't fire Hackett because of Aaron Rodgers.
I'm going to say this until this ever happens, and it might, at this point, it might never happen. I always say, you guys know this, I'm going to say it again. Good losses, bad losses, whatever. If the Jets would have lost that game, and if they went up and down the field and had 400 yards of offense and it would be such a different story. But for them to play as if they were playing with Zach Wilson, to play the same way they played last year and the year before that, with the talent on this team, is just unfathomable. And I also saw today, and you guys can look it up, but I think officially they are 27th in the league in offense.
Yes.
With that talent.
Yes.
I mean, it's just,
Well,
how is that even possible?
So I think the biggest knock, honestly, on Saleh is the discipline.
I agree.
Agreed. Yes.
You know?
I agree.
There's too many penalties. There's too many pre-snap penalties. There's too many mistakes on defense. There's too many missed assignments. And he's not an in-your-face guy. And I'm sorry, I've seen other coaches, well-respected coaches and successful coaches, and they get in their guy's face.
Yeah.
You know? Somebody lines up both sides twice. He's like, whatchamacallit did it on KC. Andy Reid, his head wanted to pop off.
Yeah. We talked about that last week. They have this some coaches are coddlers and some are not. And he would be saying that he was a coddler.
I mean, most of the successful coaches are pretty hardcore rough coaches. I mean, that's what I see. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, there's so many things to be answered Monday night. And I guess I'm never going to stop falling into the same rut of believing that every week the team is going to improve. Like watching the London game against the Vikings, I'm like, okay, but to watch them play, don't forget, I believe this offense has been like this since the Tennessee game. I think the Jets could easily be like basically 1-3.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not.
You throw out the New England game. I mean, New England's horrible, so it's
Right. So I mean, I don't know how good Buffalo's defense is, but I don't think it's. Listen, you want to win the game Monday night, obviously, but I'm looking personally. Besides winning the game, which is very important, is can this offense move up and down the field instead of throwing interceptions and bad passes and not being able to run the ball?
We have one of the best running backs in the league,
right?
And probably the best backup running back in the league, and we're not running the ball. We don't run any.
they can't run the ball.
We don't run any screens.
With that offense, we should be winning time possession every game.
You think Hackett's going to keep the play call? He was talking about bringing someone in to potentially call plays. You think Hackett's going to be calling the plays on Monday, or are they going to bring someone in?
I think Hackett's going to be running the plays. But I think Ulbrich's a different kind of guy. Like he was a player.
Yes.
And I think he's a little more hard-nosed than Saleh.
I think also Ulbrich has the excuse of like, I have to be hardcore because look what's going to happen.
Right.
You guys might not like the way I coach right now, but you see what the results are going to be. So, I'm going to go down fighting, or swinging, basically.
And we don't blitz either. Maybe Saleh didn't want him to blitz. Maybe we'll see a different defense out there. If you're not getting pressure with 4 guys, you got to blitz.
Listen, Saleh was basically.
As we talked about this, no adjustments. No, he doesn't make adjustments.
Not even blitz. Like even with because that's why Aaron Rodgers threw the pick, because they showed like a 5 or 6 man blitz.
And then he pulled out of it.
And Van Ginkel's done it a couple of times. They even showed clips of him doing it a couple of times.
Yeah. I mean, listen, no matter how you slice it,
there's no creativity.
There's no creativity, and even if Saleh was thinking about taking away the offensive play calling from Hackett, you fire Saleh. Now, so what's going to change?
Right. I mean, same problems, right?
Now if they happen to beat Buffalo, because Buffalo lost 2 games in a row, I think all of us can agree we're not going to be convinced that the Jets are back. We need to see a couple of games down the road.
That's going to be 3 losses in a row for Buffalo. They looked horrible. Last week, they lost with a huge field goal, but the week before, they got, Baltimore blew them out. So it will be interesting Monday night.
It makes it super interesting as a Jet fan and a football fan to see what happens next. But no matter what happens next, last week, the week before, I just want to see football. I want to see some scoring. I want to see. I get so pissed off. I'm going to say probably 3 years in a row, if not longer. And I tell Eddie, whatever. I tell EF over here the same thing. If you're going to lose, score 27 points, 30 points, be exciting. But watching 3 field goals the other day and
9
picks this week, I'm like, what the heck is going on? How is this? I just can't believe that this is possible. But my big thing when we got Adam Rodgers, like, we're never going to see a boring game again, even if it's a loss.
Yeah,
and
here we are.
They can't get first downs. I mean,
we had one exciting game.
Now maybe Saleh had a lot to do with it somehow, some way. I don't even know how it's possible. But like I said before, and it holds true today. Now that Saleh's gone, we'll see what happens. I said to both you guys, how is it possible that 5, if not 6, I lose track, every single quarterback that has played for the Jets cannot do anything. Boyle,
Well, Sam Darnold is 5-0 in Minnesota.
Wilson, currently Rodgers,
Yeah, but listen to
every single quarterback.
All those names you just mentioned.
It doesn't matter. They did absolutely nothing. You got no names. You got second string quarterbacks coming in for the Browns and other teams, and they're going up and down the field.
Flacco had some success. Flacco had a little success.
Not enough to keep him in the game.
Well,
You know, he didn't have that much success. Not enough like, oh my God, he passed for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, and let's keep him in there.
but that goes back to the offensive coordinator.
Listen, luckily I got to see Bill Parcells coach the Jets, and when he was hired, it was probably one of the most greatest feelings I ever had.
Yes, agree.
So
Yeah.
excited.
And he delivered.
From preseason, and I think it was the first game against the Seahawks, they won big. I'm like, I've never seen this before. This is different,
Right.
you know? And it's amazing how a coach can do that to a team, no matter what the talent is, you know? And I'm sick of the excuses with injuries and this. I see other teams like the Houston Texans, rookie coach, rookie quarterback into the playoff. I mean,
Right.
I've seen second and third string quarterbacks step in and move the offense up and down the field.
So the Texans had a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback, but didn't have a rookie offensive coordinator. When we brought in Zach Wilson, that's what we had. We had a rookie coach, rookie offensive coordinator, rookie quarterback. Horrible.
You know what? And I think it was during a Browns playoff game. I could be mistaken. That the announcer said something about the offensive line had like 5 or 6 different starting offensive linemen, and they were moving the ball up and down the field.
Right.
So there has to be something to this, you know. I mean, I just can't believe that every single player on this Jet team sucks, and that's what it seems like. I mean, this something's not right. Brees Hall isn't good. You know, Aaron Rodgers isn't good. Right now, Garrett Wilson isn't good. I mean, they can't run the ball, so I guess the offensive line isn't good.
Well, the only person that's legitimately not good is Alan Lazard.
Yes.
Why is that man still in the starting
And
lineup?
Nathaniel Hackett, there's a common theme.
Rodgers loves him. He's
There's
always
a common
loves him.
theme
I
there.
don't know if he loves him anymore. He dropped 3 passes, man.
Well, he did make. It also looks like he made a point to kind of get, obviously, to look at Garrett's way last week and put Garrett Wilson in the ball and get involved in the game last week. So that was nice to see that.
Because he's catching these little slants over the middle,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
That's supposed to be Lazard doing that, opening it up for Garrett Wilson to break on, you know?
I mean, I can definitely see, especially with last week's game, how like it was very close to there being like some really good catches and whatnot. You know, like I mean, Mike Williams was on the outside; he should have been on the inside. Like they were like that.
The interception at the end?
No, was it? Yeah. The defender picked it off. He had the inside about the corner, whatever it was.
Is that what he said?
I'm not sure, but look, I'm saying
It looked like he was throwing on the outside shoulder. And maybe if he went to the offseason workouts, they had better rapport him.
that's what they were saying.
Yeah,
That's what they were
exactly.
saying. They would have known that and stuff. Well, I got to ask you this question now. I mean, I think how many games is Rodgers going to last for now? If he's got a bad ankle and a bad knee, I mean, is he like maybe 2 games away from being done at this rate?
He could, if he went down the next any play, I wouldn't be surprised. He looks fragile out there. He looks every time I cringe every time he gets hit.
The only thing
Quite often now.
The only cruel thing that can happen as a Jet fan is that they do score 40 points against Buffalo, and he does pass for 4 yards and 5
And then he
touchdowns,
gets-
and he goes down.
Oh, no. Yeah.
That would be the only thing, like, oh, you know. But basically, if he's playing the way he's playing that, he goes down. I'm like, what is he doing? I mean, like, was that a big loss at this point? Like, you know.
Tyree Taylor's not the answer. He's he's placeholder, Dave, right? So I mean, it's the Jets. They put all their eggs in one basket with Rodgers, right?
Well, I mean, you know, rightfully so. I mean, we understand that and everything, you know.
I mean, supposedly we were only supposed to be a quarterback away, right? We had everything else in place.
Right.
Right? We had a top wide receiver. We had a top running back.
Yeah.
Well, we had a
They took those big signings on the offensive line, which
Right.
might not be panning out, obviously.
And honestly, the defense really hasn't played that bad.
No, they
I
haven't.
mean, they gave up.
No, defense is bad.
Otherwise, they're playing very well. I mean,
Right?
really,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I know the first half it was 17-0, but they only gave up 10 points.
Right.
Yeah, it was a pick six in there. That's right. Yeah.
They gave up 6 points after the half.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And the week before that,
10-9.
points, I think it was 10 points the week before that.
Yeah, it was 10. It was 10-9 before that, right? They could have won the long field goal at the end.
Yeah.
10-9.
Defense, they've been holding them on the defense.
Yeah.
And
Mosley's been hurt.
Still not getting any pressure on the quarterback, though.
so anyway, so let's see now. What do you think is going to happen, EF, on Monday night? What do you think's going to happen? What do you hope's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? There's two realities and
Well, I'm hoping for a 20-17 win. That's what I'm hoping for. But what I really think is gonna happen? I just think it could be with the whole chaos surrounding this team. Are they gonna come together, or is it gonna be a blowout? Is Buffalo gonna sense blood in the water because they know a little chaos around the Jets right now? They need to right their ship. I'm thinking I'm really afraid it's gonna be an ugly loss on Monday night.
Okay, that's it.
But I'm hoping for a win. I'm hoping for a win, but I'm just realistic Jet fan. It's a tough game.
I'll be a little more optimistic because I think we're looking at like 27-21 Jets.
But I'm just curious about how the players feel because from what I read, I don't know if you guys saw this too. They said that Saleh was walked out. They walked him out. The security walked him out of the facility on Tuesday, and they wouldn't let him address the team.
Yeah,
I know it was an off day, but they said they can't address the team. So I mean, they literally just walked him out on Tuesday.
Yeah, but the team's not there on Tuesday. It's an off day.
Guys who getting treatment there, and then he might want to come back Wednesday. But they specifically said they walked him out of the facility. So I was curious on how they feel, what their heads are.
Woody Johnson talks to Aaron Rodgers, and supposedly they don't discuss anything about.
Aaron Rodgers said he just checked on him to see how he was feeling.
They don't discuss anything about the firing of Baba Saleh.
Bullshit.
That's fake news.
Bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy. If anything, it was what Rodgers didn't say about Saleh. What he read between the lines,
I'm sorry. That's such bullshit.
That's definitely not fake news.
I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
He's talking like a fucking politician. Like, now answer the question.
There's no way. Yeah. And Woody just called to see how he was doing. Does Woody call Zach Wilson when he had a concussion? Does he call Mosley? Does he call anybody else to see how they're doing too? I mean, anybody can read between the lines with that. But I'm going to tell you that what I hope is going to happen, what I can see happening, is I can see the Jets winning big against Buffalo because Buffalo lost 2 games in a row and they're struggling a little bit. But if that does happen, I hope it does happen, I'm going to be saying, no matter what this outcome is, if they kick Buffalo's ass, what do they do against the Steelers? Because it's like, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And
the Steelers might be a different team because it looks like Russell Wilson might take over.
Oh, yeah. If we had a proven winning coach, hiree, then we could blame the players. Right now, we're blaming the coach because we have an all-star, a Pro Bowl roster.
Right.
And I can't see how, I just can't see how this could fail. So,
well, a good night for New York. The Yankees just won, so.
There it goes. 3-2, good game. Good night for very good night for New York. Anyway, with that being said,
it'll be funny if the Jets lose on Monday. The Jets season will end before the Mets and Yankee season ends.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we're going to wrap it up now, and we're hoping that the Jets have a big win and all will be well. And even if they do have a big win, I'm not going to, my MO already. I'm not going to be like, we're going to Super Bowl. I got to see more consistency.
But at least this will be in first place with a new coach.